Question 1. Identify the control weakness in the vendor selection, evaluation, and payment process of the company. The answer for this question is the first control weakness is subjective vendor evaluation criteria. The issue is the vendor evaluation criteria, particularly regarding delivery promptness, pricing, and handling complaints, are highly subjective and lack clear standard. The impact of this issue is this subjectivity raise concern about the consistency and fairness of the vendor selection process. The second control weakness is internal evaluation by department staff. The issue is vendor evaluation are conducted by department staff who may have personal connection with the vendors. The impact of this issue is this internal process introduce potential bias and conflict of interest, compromising the objectivity of vendor assessment. The third control weakness of Perusahaan Herba PT is concern raised by internal auditors. The issue is internal auditors have raised concern about payment to undisclosed party, dealing with individual instead of companies, and lack of verification against blacklisted entities. The impact of this issue is this concern indicate potential irregularities in vendor transaction that may lead to financial and reputation risk for the company.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohamad bin AZME, and I will continue to present the second answer for the second question, which is identify the scheme that was perpetrated to defraud the company. So there are three main points, which is procurement fraud, sales fraud, and also management override and lack of oversight. So the first point is procurement fraud. I have found two reasons, which is vendor selection and evaluation. The vendor selection process seems opaque and subjective, allowing managers to favor certain vendors, potentially associate with themselves and inflate prices. So the lack of independent review and reliance on the self-reported data will raise concern about the vendor's legitimacy and pricing accuracy. The second reason is payment to non-invoices. So the internal audit's observation of payment to parties other than those stated on invoices indicate potential misdirection of fund. So the second point is sales fraud, lack of focus on invoice collection. The company seems solely focused on generating sales order and invoices, neglecting the crucial step of ensuring customer payment. This can create an opportunity for manipulating record and inflating revenue without actual cash inflow. The third point is management override and lack of oversight. So blind trust in departmental head, the managing directors, hands-off approach, and implicit trust in department heads provide an environment conducive to fraud. This lack of questioning or independent verification of result can create vulnerabilities for manipulation. Second reason is downplaying internal audit findings. The practice of suppressing internal audit findings and vetting communication to the audit committee suggests attempt to conceal wrongdoing and also maintain a facade of clean operation. So that's all from me.
Hi, my name is Aadli bin Nawi, and I'm going to continue the presentation with the next question, which is question number 3. List down the steps that could be taken to prevent such a reoccurrence of event. Here, I already list down several steps that could be taken. Firstly, is implement transparent vendor evaluation criteria. By this step, we are clearly define and document objective criteria for vendor selection and evaluation. It also established a standardized and transparent vendor evaluation process, such as delivery promptness, pricing, and any relevant complaints. Secondly, by enhancing the internal control, strengthen the internal control over the account payable process to ensure accuracy and legitimacy of payment. And it also implements segregation of duties to prevent a single individual from having excessive control over the entire process. Thirdly, implement anonymous whistleblower mechanism. Establish an anonymous whistleblower mechanism to encourage employees to report concern without fear of retaliation. It's also to ensure the reports are directly forwarded to an independent committee, such as an audit committee for investigation. Thank you, and that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NUQMAN bin ROHAIZAN. Identify the issues in the reporting of audit findings to the audit committee and what could have been done to ensure that all issues are reported without filtration. The first issue is lack of timely and accurate information. The audit team, led by Madam Melina, relies on an online portal for communication and information sharing. However, in Gilmore's situation, there was a breakdown in communication, leading to unpreparedness by the auditee, which is Mr. Joshua. This resulted in delays and incomplete audit documentation. Next issue is assumption of awareness. Gilmore assumed that Mr. Joshua was fully aware of her visit as indicated in the online portal notification. This assumption led to a lack of coordination and readiness on the part of the auditee, contributing to difficulties in completing the audit procedures. To ensure that all issues are reported without filtration, the following measures could have been taken. The first one is effective communication. Establish clear and direct communication channels, ensuring that auditors and auditees have a shared understanding of audit timelines, expectations, and procedures. This includes confirming audit visits through multiple means, such as emails and phone calls. Next, pre-audit coordination. Prior to audit fieldwork, auditors should engage with auditees to discuss the scope, objectives, and expected outcomes of the audit. This proactive engagement helps in setting expectations, obtaining necessary documentation, and ensuring readiness on both sides. The third one is training and onboarding. Provide comprehensive training and onboarding for new auditors like Gilmore to familiarize them with organizational practices, communication protocols, and expectations. This helps them navigate the working environment more effectively. The last one is regular updates. Maintain regular updates on the audit progress, addressing any challenges or deviations from the initial plan. This transparency ensures that stakeholders, including the audit committee, are informed of the audit status and can take timely actions if needed.
Question number 5 asks to identify and list at least 2 oversight controls that the holding company can institute to prevent a reoccurrence of such events. The first one is independent vendor evaluation and approval process. By introducing an independent review board or committee at the holding company level responsible for evaluating and approving vendors for subsidiaries. Implement a stringent due diligence process for vendor selection, evaluation, and payment. This process should include a cross-checking against blacklisted companies and ensuring compliance with market prices for goods and services. Mandate a review of vendor relationships to ensure there are no conflicts of interest or connections with members of the local management team. And lastly, establish a transparent and objective vendor evaluation system that includes multi-level checks and balances, avoiding subjective criteria and ensuring documentation for all evaluation decisions. The second one is enhancing internal audit oversight and reporting, which are to strengthen the internal audit function by providing them with autonomy and direct reporting lines to the holding company's audit committee. Implement a policy where all internal audit findings and reports must be shared directly with the audit committee without filtering or alteration by the local management. Develop a whistleblower protection policy that encourages and safeguards employees who report any suspected unethical behavior or financial irregularities. Conduct a predict and surprise audit specifically focusing on vendor relationships, payments, and any transactions involving related parties. These audits should involve independent auditors or teams not associated with the subsidiaries management.